Welcome to another session, day 4 in September, 4 days out of 21 days. We are off to a great start. I already programmed in my mind to start it strong. Okay, so day 1 is already completed, day 2 is done, day 3 is done. We're here on day 4. All it takes is just to show up. One of the things that was mentioned in real estate course was that real estate is really 80% showing up. You're showing up, you're on top of the file, you're there with the customer service, working both sides of if you're representing the seller and the buyer, or you're in communication with the other agent and your client. All right, so I'm just throwing that in there, way off topic. But on day 4 is going to be another intense workout, what we did yesterday. We are having Joseph Rodrigues in the background. The title is The Key to Now, okay? The Power of Now, The One Thing, Acres of Diamonds, okay? So those are 3 books he's going to be mentioning in this video that he rereads over again. He's going to mention that. The book is The Power of Now, The One Thing, and another book that he mentions and discuss is Acres of Diamonds. Now I did not mention on day 3 exercise intro, Neville Goddard, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, if I say it correctly. So I'm gonna just continue. Acres of Diamonds is one of those books I did not read, but I was able to listen through to the audio and what he shared about it. That kind of helped me stay a little bit more grounded. There was a point of my life that I really wanted just to move out the state. I wanted to just leave and go to Arizona was one, leave and go to Georgia was another one, and just to be able to exercise and dig a little bit deeper, know thyself, get a chance to know myself. When I heard about the whole Acres of Diamond, it was very interesting. So I'm not even going to share so much of what he's going to say about it, but it is going to be shared on why that book is so much important to look out for in someone's life. All right, in the sense of looking other places, but only if you knew what was in your vicinity and things in that nature. Okay, so we're going to get started with the exercise. The same thing, the stretch, 30 seconds, 1 minute jump rope, the single leg lunges, 20 on each side, push-ups, 20 push-ups, 20 diamond push-ups, 20 wide push-ups, 50 leg raises, 50 in and out, laying down, 2 sets of 30-second plank. All right, now 6 bird dog 10-second hold, which I already gave a big clear description on that on day 3 workout. So I'm gonna just go straight into the workout. If you are not familiar with that workout, please substitute for something else. The focus for September is the abdominal area, so substitute for another exercise. Once again, credits to Squat University, the YouTube channel Squat University. After that, we want to do the 2-minute jump rope, finishing off with 5 rip right, okay, which I already explained. You hold it for 5 seconds, you do the rep, and then you hold it for 4 seconds, and you do the 4. All right, it's pretty intense. All right, and just a reminder, this type of workout is only going to be pushed for 6 days. On the 7th day, something simple, some jump rope, squats, something real simple, so it's like real quick. And then it's going to be another set of 6 days intense type of workout. It's just the month of September. I'm finishing strong. That I'm not going to be recording for October exercises. I'm not going to be recording exercises for October, November, December. I'm just going to cool off whatever I can be able to produce for you guys to be helpful. Either is what type of book to read, spiritually, financially, relationships, in that kind of nature. I'm gonna be sharing more information on that, or hitting record on that. All right, and if you are watching, prepare for 2023, February 22nd. uh, Ash Wednesday, which is the Lent season. I already gave a whole closing thoughts on the Lent season on day 2 exercise. The closing thoughts was my whole thoughts about Lent season, how to really take that season seriously. All right, anyone that's watching this, if you take it seriously, it may be a shift in your circle, in your community, because now your thought process is a little bit more different versus the fast pace, fast food. Everything must be done now, you know what I mean? And it's like, just use that time differently, all right? So we're gonna get started on the exercise, all right? Joseph Rodrigues, the key to now, all right? The now, the power of now, the one thing, acres of diamonds.
I titled today's mind map, Acres of Diamonds Now. Today, I had the opportunity to revisit 3 books. Number 1, The Power of Now. Number 2, The One Thing by Gary Keller. And number 3, Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell. Russell Conwell was a lawyer and writer. He was also the founder of Temple University in Philadelphia, which was funded by many millions of dollars which he had earned by traveling and giving his famous Acres of Diamonds speech. Now, I want to relate these all together because I believe that where we are right now is our acres of diamonds. And what I believe is the world of imagination is rich with opportunity, visions, ideas, and we enable it by valuing the present moment, where we are right now. And so the story goes that there was once a farmer who heard tales about other farmers earning millions of dollars by discovering diamond mines. These tales excited the farmer to the point where he sold his own farm and spent the rest of his life wandering Africa, searching unsuccessfully for diamonds, which he never found. Meanwhile, the man who had bought his farm happened to be crossing a small stream on the property one day when he noticed a flash of light in it. He bent down and picked up a stone. It was a good-sized stone, and admiring it, he brought it home and put it on his fireplace mantel, just as an interesting curiosity. Now, several weeks later, a visitor to his home picked up the stone and looked at it carefully. And he asked the farmer if he knew what he had found. When the farmer said no, that he thought it was a piece of crystal, the visitor told him that he had found one of the largest diamonds ever discovered. The farmer, having trouble believing this, told the man that his creek was full of such stones, not as large as the one on the mantel, but sprinkled generously throughout the creek bottom. So apparently the farm that the first farmer had sold so that he could go out and look for diamonds turned out to be one of the most productive diamond mines on the entire African continent. The first farmer had owned free and clear acres of diamonds, but had sold them for practically nothing in order to go looking elsewhere for diamonds. Now, the central lesson of the story is that the resources, the relationships, the scope of opportunities, everything that they need to achieve all that they desire is present right now within the individual's awareness. Now, we've been discussing that past, present, and future are actually now. Mind weaves a journey to the destination, and on this journey to the destination are infinite resources. Now, this is true for the entrepreneur, those that are interested in creating the ideal lifestyle in whatever shape or form. Everything that we need is right here, right now. Now, I've discovered this on the journey as well. There's a few books that I like to revisit, these books right here being a few of them, every now and then, to remind myself so I can recognize, or I could say recognize, that actually everything that I need is right here. And for whatever the reason may be, I can identify with certain thinking patterns that seems to create this illusion that what I'm looking for is elsewhere. When I look back at the results that I've had in my life, and upon having conversations with thousands of individuals who have produced success, one of the commonalities that I find is their ability to stay committed to the opportunities that they have and see the opportunities that they have all the way till success. In the entrepreneurial journey, this could be that a person starts with one product or service, and the product or the service or the opportunity grows into a very successful business. Or through the journey of committing with that product or service, more innovation is brought forth. For example, a person might be selling a product or service to their client base. All of a sudden, they discover an opportunity within their scope of clients for a particular software or technology or process. And they look around and they see that nobody is serving that need. It's a very distinct, or we could say a niche need in the marketplace. So they, as a result of valuing where they are, the opportunities, the relationships that they have, they not only are able to identify this need, but because they have the relationships with their clients, they find it easier to make the offer for that distinct product or service. Now, after making that offer and having a number of their clients take them up on that offer, they now have case studies, testimonials, reference experience, and they're able to take that now, which has presented itself as a result of valuing the opportunities, and go out there into the marketplace to spread the product or service at a broader scale. And when we look back at this, we see the relatability to the story of Acres of Diamonds. A person can spend so much time, and even their whole life, looking for the value that is already there right in front of them right now, in the relationships, in the resources, in the opportunities. All they need to do is practice a higher degree of presence, or we could say being in the now with what they have, and they'll actually be able to see it. And so in the book Power of Now, as I was going through it today, this quote stood out. He says, "You are aware of where you want to go, but you honor and give your fullest attention to the step that you are taking at this moment." So we all have goals, we all have visions, we all have definite chief aims. And what we want to do is give our fullest attention to the step that we are taking right now, whatever it is, the task, the project, the opportunity. Because this is how we reveal the power of our imagination. As we discussed in Sunday's video, the nuances. Nuances could be looked at as the different ways that we can connect the relationships, the resources to create new products or services, or solve operational inefficiencies in our own business, which could then turn into opportunities to help others in their businesses. See, one of the things that I realized while I was building my IT business from 2009 to 2013 is that although I was building a service business, providing IT services, I was also going through the opportunities of growing a business. As in, I was involved with sales, marketing, innovation, operations, many different things, team building. And as I was going through these experiences, I was building reference experience. I was building experience that I found was actually translating over to more sales in the business, even though I was selling IT services. Because I noticed that when I was having conversations with prospects or clients, they would bring up stories or challenges that they were experiencing outside of the IT challenges. Challenges with their businesses. I was dealing with business owners, those in upper management and so forth. And the challenges that they were experiencing were the same challenges that I had once experienced, that I overcame. And I noticed that as I would have those conversations with them about their challenges, the relationships would build. And as those relationships would build, they would be more open to listen to the various services and products that I was offering. Not just my own products or services, but I had partnerships, joint venture relationships with other businesses in which, if for whatever the reason, the product or service that I was offering was not a match for them, I would see an opportunity to connect them with one of my joint venture partners. And I would make a percentage on that deal or get a referral fee. What they were seeing me as was somebody that would overall help them grow their business. Overall. Although they looked at me from one angle as a IT service provider, they saw that I was a lot more than an IT service provider. Now, I believe that this is not just the case with me. I believe it's the case with you as well. I believe it's the case with all of us. We oftentimes do not see the value in ourselves to the degree that we actually possess. And one of my aims with these conversations is to actually reveal the acres of diamonds of value that we have within ourselves, as well as the relationships, the resources, and the opportunities that we have right now. And so that is why I like to revisit the same books again and again and again, because I find that by taking the information and going and applying the information and producing success with the information, when I go back to the books, the information is seen from a different perspective. As a result of the inward changes that occur from applying the information and producing reference experience, the information is understood to a higher degree. So he says, if you then become excessively focused on the goal, perhaps because you are seeking happiness, fulfillment, or a more complete sense of self in it, the now is no longer honored. Now, this makes even more sense to me because when we're relating it over to the acres of diamonds, the happiness, the fulfillment, the complete sense of self is found now and only now. This is done by really recognizing that we are complete, happy, and fulfilled right now, doing what we really love to do, which is working on our goals, our visions, but more so from the deep value and presence in this now, in this moment, on this task, on the initiative, whatever it is that you have committed to doing. He says it becomes reduced to mere stepping stones to the future with no intrinsic value. In other words, we're not valuing the acres of diamonds, both inner and outer. He says your life's journey is no longer an adventure, just an obsessive need to arrive, to attain, to make it. Now, I mentioned this many times. I value the journey and the destination. I see them all as one. And most of, we could say, time is on the journey to the destination, depending on what our goals are. For example, this is the case in the entrepreneurial journey, those that are athletes, those that are looking to cultivate a skill. Much of the time is invested in learning the skill, practicing the skill, mastering the skill, executing on the task, the projects, etc. If you see those as just some step that we got to go through and we don't really want to be there, then I believe, and I've seen this in myself, I'm not seeing the value, the opportunities as to what is being presented in front of me right now in the five sensory experience. So I could reflect upon that, because we are reflecting that information, and see it for how it truly is, which is in harmony and in contribution to our goals and visions to higher degrees than maybe we have given it credit for. However, we have the opportunity to practice this more so, and we'll go through weaving this into The One Thing by Gary Keller to help us apply this. And we'll see the power behind the simplicity of how this all works. He says, your life's journey is no longer an adventure, just an obsessive need to arrive, when the adventure happens on the journey. You get to the destination, you feel fulfillment. There's a journey to the destination, one of adventure, one of happiness, one of fulfillment, one of experiencing the complete sense of self, which we can value by actually valuing what we're doing to a higher degree, saying this, what I'm working on, this, what I'm doing right now, is exactly what I want to do. This is exactly where I want to be. And if not, then why are we there? That's a question that I always ask myself, because for me, I really want to do what I love to do. And if I'm doing something that I don't really love to do, I want to ask myself the question, why do I not feel this completion within myself? That I would have this experience externalized as not loving the experiences that I do each day. We could relate this to what we talk about in the Dr. Joe Dispenza video, where we found the relatability, surrendering to the vision realize, as the key. But we surrender to the vision realize experientially by valuing where we are right now in the task, the initiative, and so forth. Now here's a practical way of applying this. In the book, The One Thing, it states, right now is all we have to work with. Our past is but a former now. Our future is a potential one. To drive this point home, I started referring to the way to create a powerful priority as goal setting to the now. When I teach goal setting, I make it my top priority to show how a goal and a priority work together. I do this by asking, why do we set goals and create plans? In spite of all the good answers I get, the truth is we have goals and plans for only one reason: to be appropriate in the moments of our lives that matter. While we may pull from the past and forecast the future, reality is the present moment. Our past is but a former now, our future a potential one. To delve this point home, I started referring to the way to create a powerful priority as goal setting to the now, to emphasize why we are creating a priority in the first place. The truth about success is that our ability to achieve extraordinary results in the future lies in stringing together powerful moments one after another. What you do in any given moment, or we could say how we value our time, our energy, our resources, our relationships, the opportunities that we have, determines what you experience in the next. Your present now and all future nows are undeniably determined by the priority you live in the moment. And so he outlines a very nice process that we can work with here to bring us back into valuing what we're doing right now and to value it to a deeper degree, because I believe, and I've been working with this information for many years, that no matter where I am, I could always value what I'm doing, be it a conversation, be it a project, be it working out at the gym, whatever it is, I could value it to a higher degree. And I noticed, as I had mentioned in Sunday's video when we discussed some of those exercises that were provided by Rudolf Steiner, one of them particularly, of contemplating, I noticed that I see more opportunities by really valuing what I'm doing. I also maintain the flow. As mentioned, I encourage making flow a priority, because when we make flow a priority, We feel one with the task, the project, our goal, our vision, all in the eternal now. And we actually see and experience the acres of diamonds. We see more opportunities. And the beauty is that we find that we might not even need to move forward with those opportunities, but we do see them. And that brings us an enormous amount of peace because we know that there's opportunities everywhere. And we know then the real opportunity in the moment is to value the opportunity of the task or project of the moment and see it all the way till completion. So he says, to understand how goal setting to the now will guide your thinking and determine your most important priority, read this out loud to yourself. Number 1, based on my someday goal, what's the one thing I can do in the next 5 years to be on track to achieve it? So whatever it is, whatever definite chief aim or grand destination, you can ask yourself the question. And I found by asking myself this question, it starts to bring me into clarity. Now, one doesn't have to go through this entire process, but certainly as we go through it, depending on the level of abstraction, we'll start to get a certain level of clarity. For example, if a person thinks about what's the number one thing they could do in the next 5 years that will help them achieve the goal, it narrows what would appear as a lot of different things a person can do and brings it down into the most relevant. Now, here's the interesting thing about the thing that we know we got to do. It really is about getting into the flow. Is the thing that we're doing going to contribute drastically to the success? You know, when I look back at my experience, I realized that sometimes just the simplest task that was identified by using a process like this was something like just cleaning up my desk, actually stimulated an idea. Just by bringing myself into the now, I got an idea to do something that would be considered a bigger project. So just doing something like cleaning my desk actually stimulated that idea. So we can see that what this also helps us tap into is a higher degree of lateral thinking, or we can refer to this as outside of the box thinking, which, by the way, is stimulated also by the anandamide release. As we talked about this in last Thursday's video, I'll put a link in the description to this. Anandamide, neurotransmitter, has been known to increase or stimulate lateral thinking, outside of the box thinking. So number 2, he says, based on the 5-year goal, what's the one thing that I could do this year to be on track to achieve my 5-year goal so that I'm on track to achieve my goal someday? For example, someday goal, we can call it definite chief aim, which is to have a net worth of X amount of dollars, let's say. What's the one thing I can do in the next 5 years to be on track to achieve it? It could be something like increase sales to X amount of dollars per year. That's the one thing that, if developed in the business, will result in achieving that level of net worth or that level of business success. Number 2, based on my 5-year goal, what's the one thing I could do this year to be on track to achieving my 5-year goal so that I'm on track to achieving my someday goal? So it could be something like to do 5 prospecting calls each day, Monday to Friday, this entire year. I commit to it. Number 3, based on my goal this year, what's the one thing I can do this month so I'm on track to achieve my goal this year? So I'm on track to achieve my 5-year goal. So I'm on track to achieve my someday goal. So what he's doing with this process is he's taking what would, for some, be an overwhelming amount of things a person can do, or seemingly overwhelming amount of things a person can do to achieve success, and breaking it down so they can find the acres of diamond opportunity. And from there, break it down even further. So 5-year goal, 1-year goal, and 1 month. So in 1 month, it could be, I just commit to doing 5 prospecting calls a day, Monday to Friday, for 30 days. This is very similar to what I have done, actually, in my entrepreneurial journey, which was inspired by The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And actually, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale also introduced me to the Acres of Diamonds. For some reason, at that stage of my journey, it felt a lot more doable. I could really do this. I could commit for 30 days to do this one thing. What is it? And we know the answer. When we break it down into a process like this, we actually discover the answer. And then we commit to it. Number 4, now based on my goal this month, what's the one thing I can do this week so I'm on track to achieve my goal this month? So I'm on track to achieve my goal this year. So I'm on track to achieve my 5-year goal. So I'm on track to achieve my someday goal. So what we'll notice is that it'll start to get easier now, and we'll start to feel even more relaxed because we'll see that by breaking it down, this is far easier than we think it is. So a person might say, well, then I just commit this week to do 5 prospecting calls a day. And here's the beautiful thing. What we're doing here is we're building habits of doing the things that we really want to do. Now, it may be the prospecting calls. It could be something else. It could be dedicating. For example, a person can say, I'm going to dedicate for this whole year 4 hours at the end of the day. Maybe a person has a full-time job. 4 hours at the end of the day to work on my business.
What a big difference. A big, big difference. Yesterday was the same workout. Yesterday, I felt heavier, you know. Yesterday I felt like quitting, but I didn't. I was able to push through. Today, big difference. I was able to fight through the break time, the rest time, where I know the leg raises 50, the leg in and out 50. I won't say it's painful, but I just know I needed to take increments to get it done, you know? What else? The push-ups, went through the push-ups. That was really great. Hope you guys were able to do the 20 push-ups, 20 diamond push-ups, 20 the wide push-ups. You put your arms out a little bit wider. I was able to get through that. Now, if you're not doing the same exact reps, or you change, you modified a few things, that's still good. Excuse the whatever type of bug that is flying around the camera. So what I was going to say is that if you were able to modify your workout, that's fine. Great job. Okay. If you was able to go through the workout of what I have here, but not everything, still great job. You know, don't beat yourself up that, well, instead of doing 50, I did 10. Instead of doing 20 push-ups, I did 5 push-ups. I don't know. You know, it's still progress. That if you give yourself another chance tomorrow, it may be the same results, or it may be an improvement. Okay? Not sure if I mentioned on previous videos, but I'll mention here, possibly again, or I just say it, is that in the idea of diet, you know, your diet is at least 40 to 50% of a big difference. Okay, what you feed yourself can make a difference in the workout, or you exercising, or you having the energy needed to get through an exercise. Learning some of the things in the medical field is called the medulla, MEDULLA, and around the medulla It's around the kidney, the pancreas, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm gonna say the kidney area. Depends what you're feeding yourself may alter your mood swings. I never thought where mood comes from. Just something that we feel in the moment, not knowing if whatever type of meal we ate caused us to react in a certain way. It's possible. Okay, so it's the medulla. Check that out. I know there's a part of the brain. It's the hypothalamus, if I pronounce that correctly. But it's a part of the brain that really get us when to smile, when to look angry, when to be joyful for some ice cream. When it's just the different reactions on the face. Works on the brain there. So I guess I know what I'm talking about, but the pronunciation I'm working on. So not to get off topic, it's just interesting how yesterday, the same exact workout, the next day, day 4, I was able to get through a little bit much quicker, which is good. Excuse me for the shirt being off. It's not me showing off or boasting. That sweaty shirt there felt like it was an extra pound or 2 pounds on that of sweat on that shirt. I won't be surprised if I squeeze anything out of it. Let me see if there's anything. I don't know what to expect. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so definitely this shirt was heavy for a 2-minute jump rope, right? Definitely don't want to be showing off here. Just, it is what it is. Don't know the guy, but I just want to send condolences to Bath and Beyond CFO. Don't know him, but just really the idea of someone either whatever pushed him to that limit. He hurt himself in a sense. I won't say the other word. I don't want to be flagged for saying that word, but he harmed himself in a way that you're the chief of finance, and I don't know the full story, but just to hear from a friend that someone ended their life, and pretty much probably managing lots of money, even though if stores and businesses are closing down, that is an ongoing thing in what I'm noticing in the U.S. Okay, business open, most businesses are not meant to last forever. I'm coming to my senses. If you're creating something, put a good 2-year plan to 5-year plans. If you want to push it to 10 or 20, feel free, but be able to make something, enjoy it, and find your way to exit, or just maintain it. Not everything is meant to last forever. If it is, granted, that's awesome. Some of the things that I think that are meant to last forever is obviously the earth. It's been here millions of years. So real estate, housing, that's definitely generation. Or even if it's back to the business, businesses can be an ongoing, give other people the opportunity to experience that wealth or that position, or come up with ideas, whatever. I don't want to get off topic. The main goal here is that life is precious. There's really no need to allow poor decisions, money, businesses to take you to a point that you want to, be done with your life. Okay. My possible solution is just try a different alternate route. Go to the Caribbean. Go somewhere that you've never been and learn other perspectives of how someone has 7 figures, 8 figures, and they're stressed out, anxiety, compared to someone that doesn't have that, but they're maintaining and they're happy and they're relax. You know, they're not stressed out. So I think that's one of the reasons why this go around of my age of 34, this go around I'm taking the approach of securing the foundation spiritually, securing the foundation mentally, securing the foundation physically. I heard it on a podcast before. I'm not gonna get so much off topic on this one, but the guy was saying, like, it's interesting on women, I should say, that a guy was able to date her during her prime, early 20s, or in her early 20s and mid 20s and whatever. That whatever happened to the relationship, they're not together. That when she reaches in her 30s, or I don't want to push it to 40, but when she's in her 30s, possibly she's not in her prime no more. She doesn't have that drive or that edge like how she used to. But it was just interesting how he brought that up, and it's like, well, I looked at it, I was like, I had to ask myself, not from a woman standpoint, from a guy standpoint, have I been in my prime before, and what some of the changes I could do so that when I am seeking to marry someone, I should say, start a family, I'm still in that prime mindset as if I was in my 20s. It's a little bit much tougher now, I must say. It's a little bit slightly tougher because I but it's a lot of learning experience of things I could have done differently in my 20s. Okay, so went a little off topic on both things. I mentioned about the CFO, how life is precious. I mentioned about pretty much being in your prime of the physical, spiritual, the mental aspect of life. So then if I am receiving $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever the amount is, the amount really doesn't matter. Along if I have my foundation of who I am, my principles and morals, it's really the abundance from there, and be able to help others. And it was something else I wanted to mention too, but I mentioned about the CFO and of the Bath and Beyond, but it'll come back to mind. It's just want to give thanks and praise for another great workout. Just want to give thanks, the ability just to have that mindset of pushing through 21 days for the month of September, having that mindset of planning certain goals for the next 3 months, and planning that goal for Lent season. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna get going. You guys, if you stay to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you, and I hope the Joseph Rodrigues, I hope the audiobook was helpful. The Acres of Diamond. All right. I could say a little bit more if you stay to the end, that hey, it's this farmer here somewhere in Africa saying, yo, I want to do what the other farmers are doing. I want to get that those diamonds, not knowing that he was about to sell acres, right there where he was sitting on, acres of diamonds. He didn't even know he had that. So just think about how precious life is, and where we are living, to go within yourself and see what type of values you have, see what type of values that you could improve on in the skills, and then once you build that skill, see how can someone out there that doesn't have that skill can be able to say, hey, I'll purchase an X amount of dollars for your skills just to learn it, so at least they could have the opportunity to learn it. Now we're past, I think we passed the stages of trying to convince people of what's important. If someone gets the information of what's needed and what's best for their situation of circle choices, day-to-day choices, put it out there as a product. Let the people buy it, so at least it could be worth their time and could make it could change lives out here. Okay, so I don't feel like I'm yapping, but it's a little bit long of a talk than I expected. So with that being said, you guys take care. Thank you for watching to the end, And today was a peaceful day. Tomorrow's gonna be peaceful. We on it. Take care.